The problem starts when I found out that Google Analytics shows my own visit as traffic. My IP address was filtered to exclude internal traffic, so I got confused. So I did some research and I found out that I have access to two different internet connections, and that was the reason. So I was using, a regular filter, Google Analytics filter, to filter my IP address. My website is pretty small; it's not a large site, so I was thinking that the default IP address filter function will be enough for me. Anyway, so um, I Google my IP address and I found out that my IP address is actually IPv6. And I saw that Google is actually they have instruction to exclude IPv6. It's actually same as IPv4, excluding IPv4 address. Um, so and there are a couple tools actually, like when I was searching that my IP address, I was actually a bit confused to like, okay, I know that my previous, or like my other connection, it has IPv4, and the new or the other connection, it shows IPv6. So what should I do? Maybe they both have IPv6, or maybe they both have IPv4. So what should I do? I get confused. Um, so I saw that, okay, there's a tool. I mean, there are a couple tools which are going to show you that uh, that you own both IPv6 and IPv4, or don't. So I use the tool test IPv6, and I found out that both of my connection, they have IPv4 and IPv6. Um, I was actually, took some time to test, and I found out that the IPv4 address is actually static, but the IPv6 one is dynamic. The first 12 digits are static, but the rest of them are dynamic, like this one you see my screen. Every time I was like switching back and forth, I found that my uh, uh, IPv4 address is static, but the IPv6 address is dynamic. The same uh, the same scenario for the other connection. Here's the IPv4, here's the IPv6. Here is IPv4, and here is IPv6. It's a bit different. So what should I do? I found that there are other peoples, they're having similar problems, so they turned to Google Analytics forum, and some of the guys, they're also helping them with their knowledge. And I found that one lady, one person, she actually had to uh, include both IPv6 and IPv4. I'm actually going to add this link in my description, in this video description, so that you can browse and see details. And then there's another question I saw that I found someone is saying, I mean, they have the same kind of similar issue filtering both IPv4 and IPv6. Another person was suggesting that, okay, you should exclude only IPv4. Something like that. I'm new to analytics and wish to filter my own traffic. However, when I Google what's my IP, some of the sites give an IPv4 address, others give an IPv6. Which do I use for the analytics filter? So you see, I got really confused. So I tried a combination. I actually tried the custom filter, which is, let me just show you. Yeah, I use the custom filter, and so that, like, I can try multiple IP addresses at the same time. So I tried only IPv4 addresses. It didn't work. Now, how did I test like every time I was adding those IP addresses, the best way to test is to go to the real-time traffic section and see the dashboard. If it works, then you will see that active users on the site. It will show 0. If it doesn't, it will show 1 or whatever the number of users are visiting the site. I mean, it should be 1 because you're testing right now, unless you have a huge amount of traffic. There are other issues. In short, like it should be, if the filter works, you will see 0. If it doesn't, you will see 1. Okay, so back to my strategy. So I tried both IPv4 addresses. I tried IPv6 addresses. I tried a combination of IPv4 and IPv6 addresses. I tried a combination of IPv4 addresses and the first 12 digit of IPv6 addresses, because the first 12 digit is actually same for both connections. Both of my connections, they have the first 12 digit is same. It's actually, I'm using 2 separate connection, but from the same kind of, maybe that's why. Okay. And then I also tried only the first 12 digits. So the first one, IP addresses, IPv4 addresses, it didn't work. IPv6 addresses, it worked. The combination of IPv4 and IPv6 addresses, it worked. The combination of IPv4 addresses and the first 12 digit of those IPv6 addresses, it also worked. Only IP, the first 12 digit of those IPv6 addresses, I only tried this. I was just curious actually what is happening. I mean, it's mainly because IPv6 is actually the upgraded version of IPv4. So I was under the impression maybe it will, I mean, only IPv6 will work. And I found out that, okay, it works. I'm not sure what would be the scenario in your case, but for me, it works. And it looks like that, okay, IPv6 is actually, because it's the upgraded version, and maybe that's why Google Analytics thinks that, okay, they're going to count on, in other words, they're going to take into consider instead of IPv4. So, and so I mean, I'm trying to explain here because the whole process took me actually more than 2.5 hours, and I get really annoyed that, okay, this issue shouldn't take more than like 20-30 minutes. Why it is taking me this amount of time? So that's why I thought, like, okay, maybe I should share this, share my findings with you guys in this video. Lastly, like, if there's another thing I should mention, that, the real-time scenario, when you test your filters, when you go to the real-time section, there's one thing you have to keep in mind. It came to my mind, and I saw that someone was asking that same question, that how much time until real time? I was thinking, like, okay, how long those real-time users do I have to wait? Like Google Analytics, we know that the session ends after 30 minutes. I mean, I'm just saying in a very basic way. It's not that easy, or I mean, they're more elaborated description, or they're more elaboration to that point. But I was thinking that, okay, is this same for the real-time traffic? Then I have to wait to test. I have to wait like 30 minutes. Um, but I found out that, okay, someone was asking the same question: how much time until real-time users drop off the Google Analytics real-time report after their last hit? And someone replied, it was a good hint, and I did a little test, and I found out that, yeah, it took around like what happened? Sorry about that. Anyway, so I found out that, okay, it took around like 5 to 6 minutes to like until after 5 to 6 minutes the real-time user drops off. So you need to keep that in mind when you test your filters. Because every time if you refresh the session, every time you refresh the Google Analytics, I mean, it will count it as a fresh hit. So you need to keep that in your mind when you test your filters. Lastly, if you're a large e-commerce website or a large site, this is of course not a good solution. Instead, check out this article by Lunametrics. They're skilled and very expert. They're I remember their Google Analytics partner. Um, they're now a new company, but like long story short, like they are very skilled. And this article, a better alternative to exclude filters in Google Analytics, this is a very good one to get your informations, to get some tips what you should do if you're in large site, how to exclude your internal traffic. And there is another guy who is also very expert in Google Tag Manager and Analytics. His name is Simu Ahaba. He also wrote something back in 2014 and is still very good, which is block internal traffic with Google Tag Manager. This is another article you should check out. I'm going to add them in the description section so that you easily find out. There's another company, Enor. They recently published an article which is like advanced. It says what? Advanced Guide to IP address filtering in Google. Compared to the Lunametrics and Simuhava, it's not that advanced, in my opinion, but you should check it out. Um, um, well, I mean, this is what I found, and I would like to share with everyone. Hopefully, you will find this video helpful. Thank you.